Alright, so I wanted to go over making these flaps solid for loading into a project. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and open up my project 16 by 16, which is an empty template. So it'll take a second for that to open. Alright, so that project is open. I'm going to Control Tab back to my conceptual mass and load that into the project. Place that, escape, ignore the warnings, go to our 3D file. Now, while you're documenting this in the project, you may want to get some thickness in here. It's nice to have surfaces when you're testing things because they take up a lot less memory. But let's go ahead and go back, Control Tab, back to my mass, and I'm going to tab select that flap, right click on it, go to Edit Family, and say you wanted to make this solid, right, instead of just a non-dimensional surface. It's quite easy. You can select that element and go to Create Form, and you can pick the solid version down here, and it gives it a height. And you can see that that positive offset is over here in the Properties dialog, and you can change that to 1 inch. Apply, it'll go down to 1 inch. You can also put a parameter on it by selecting this Associate Family Parameter, adding a parameter, and I'll name that top offset. Whoops. Let's cancel that. Add the parameter, and I will name that top offset. And click OK. And click OK. And then I can go into my Family Types dialog box and adjust that top offset for each one of, let's just make that 0.5 inches. And then for flap 2, we'll say 0.25 inches. Okay. And click OK. So now that flap is set for different depths for each one of those. I can go load into project. I can load that into project 16 by 16. Click OK. I want to overwrite the existing version. And if I go to 3D now, you're going to see, if I go to thin line, that those have thickness to them, right? So now there is a thickness for when I section them. And we'll take a look at maybe sectioning them in a minute. Alright, so that's getting thickness.